Hi, good afternoon, students. This is Mr. Kutsi, and I'm just putting together a short tutorial here to try and help you out with Module 2. Today we're starting with Module 2.1, the very beginning of this module. And the word problem setup, the task that we have set up, is called Pet Sitters. And I'll go ahead and let you read that, or assume you have read it already. If you haven't read it already, you can go ahead and just pause the video right now, read it over, because this really will make a lot more sense. I'm not going to reread the whole thing. That's not the point of this tutorial. The point of this tutorial is to jump right into the explanation. Okay, so go and pause it now and go and read it if you haven't. Okay, so if you paused it and read it, welcome back. What I'm going to focus on is the key information here. There's a couple key things. The whole first paragraph is just set up background information, who the characters are and all that stuff. What we need to know for the math is, here, cats, they require this much space. Dogs require this much space. The problem's all about dogs and cats, how much space they take, but then it also involves money. So we're going to have to keep track of all these things. So you got their space they take, the cost it's going to take to start their business, but then also they're going to be making money. We call that their revenue, okay? They will make some money, so they want to make as much money as possible. Okay, so given these constrictions, how will they make the most amount of money? That's the underlying question here. Okay, so now that we know the key information, how do we organize all this? So part of this tutorial is to help you try and figure out how to do word problems. So here's what we got then. Let's go ahead and break this down. Let's go ahead and switch over. What I did with all the key information, I wrote it down into a section here. So let's go over here. There it is. And we got all the information. Let me start one thing at a time here. Let's start with key information. So key information was for the space. Okay, cats needed that much, dogs needed that much. And I put this as a restriction and I highlighted it because they can't go more than 360. Okay, if there wasn't that restriction, then they could just house 1,000 cats. Okay, maybe 10,000 cats, who knows? Okay, but there is a restriction to make this realistic. All right. Next, the costs. Cats are going to cost this much, dogs are going to cost this much, and the restriction again, they are not millionaires. That's why they're starting this business, so they only have this much to spend. Okay. Now let's break that down. Final thing is the revenue. This is the money they bring in. Okay, once they have their business up and running, they can start collecting $8 for every cat they house and $20 for every dog they house. Okay, so that's where our sort of information comes. Okay, so what's the real question though? Let's go back to that now. So now that we've cleared up the key information, and if you don't have this information written down already, go ahead and pause this tutorial and write all of this down. This is critical information, all of it. Okay. So now that you have that in a notebook, let's go back to what the question was, and here we are. After the key information, the question is, as it says right here, the question is, how many each type of pet should they apply for, or should they prepare for? So it'd be great if they could have 1,000 dogs or 1,000 cats, but they can't. Okay, so realistically, their dad says, hey, how about 12 dogs and 12 cats? All right. Carlos disagrees and thinks they should have more dogs because they could charge more for dogs. Clarita thinks they should charge more they should make more room for cats because they take less space and time, and therefore they can board more. All right. So, what do you think? What recommendation would you give? The recommendation, again, has to be based on actual dollars, cents, and what makes sense for this problem. Okay, so let's go back to our scratch paper here. Here we are. So there's a couple options, okay? You got the dad's dog cat option, okay? You got, one of them said all cats, one of them said all dogs. So okay, option A, all cats. So let's think about that. Okay. So we got to keep in mind our restrictions. They only have 360 feet squared to use, and they only have 1280 to spend. Okay. So let's go through this then. Okay. With this much to spend, let's try and figure out how many cat pens they could possibly afford. Okay. Let's start with that, because the dollars is pretty much our limiting factor. we can't buy as many as we want. We can only buy this many. So if we're going all cats, $1,280. That's total divided by, we need $32 per cat pen. Okay, so we have dollars and dollars, dollars divided by dollars. The dollars will cancel out. Okay, and we will get our answer in number of cats. Okay, so here we go. 1280 divided by 32 is 40 cats. All right. Okay, so that would use up all their money. Okay, they used up all their money buying these things, and they can house 40 cats. Now, 40 cats at $8 per day. Again, that's the revenue they're going to receive. They're going to get paid this much money for every cat they have. So 40 cats at $8 per day, that's going to give you $320. No cats, just dollars. Again, the cats would cancel out because 40 cats, $8 per day per cat, so the cats cancel out. And again, basically $320 per day for the cats. Whoops, sorry, I didn't realize I was off the page. There we go. Okay. Step 2. Let's evaluate our other option. All dogs. So like before, they have 1280 total divided by dogs require $80 per pen. You have to buy these dog runs they're going to run around in. Okay. So if we take that and do 1280 divided by 80, we get 16. So if they used up all their money just for dogs, they'd get 16 dogs out of this. Okay. So let's go back to the revenue. 16 dogs at, they get $20 per day for dogs. So 16 dogs at $20 per day. Take a look. 16 times 20. No. 16 times 20. 320. Okay, 320 is what we get here. But wait a minute. Okay. Both the same. And I don't know if you were expecting that or not, but that's kind of interesting, at least to me. Okay. Both, if you did all cats or all dogs, they're both the same. So when it asks and stuff, who's right, Clarita or Carlos? Well, she wanted to do, or one of them wanted to do all cats and one wanted to do all dogs, and guess what? It doesn't make a difference. And we prove that here. So this kind of setup is what we're looking for a solution. This is just a math of it. You can put it in more words. You can describe it slightly differently. As long as it makes sense to you and it makes sense to whoever's reading it, if they can look at your paper and understand where your numbers are coming from, that's critical. Okay. So I think that's like little things like putting the dollar sign here. So they say, wait, why are you dividing by 80? Oh, it's dollars. And oh, this was the total dollars, and this was the dollars per dog, and things like that. In fact, maybe I should put that because I didn't. Per dog run, kind of like I did up here. Okay, so we found option A, all cats, and option B, all dogs, are both the same. Again, that's kind of interesting. So what I'm going to leave for you guys in the blank space down here, what if we did a combination? If we did combinations of dogs and cats, could we get it so that they make more than $320? Because so far, both methods give $320. Now, you might assume no matter any way you do it, it might be 320. That might be true. I don't know. We're going to leave that for you to solve, and I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Feel free to send me an email. Let me know what made sense, what didn't make sense, what you still have questions on, and hope that helps. All right, have a great day.